Hey you, Shereen Thor here of AwakenTheRebel.com, and I am honored to be your business heroine today. We're doing a little Q&A, and the question today is, I love my business, but I'm so overwhelmed. I have a to-do list a mile long, and I work all the time, all in all capitals. How do I step out of my list and get my life back? Oh dear God. This one gives me like a little twinge of pain in my heart because I've totally been there. I've been there in the beginning when I started out my entrepreneurial life. I joined this 6-month group mastermind and I was like, yes, I'm gonna go for it. And yes, it's gonna be like amazing. My whole life's gonna change. And 3 months in, I literally reached a physical burnout. I was not only about to be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, but I also was diagnosed with gastritis because there was so much stress happening in my body that I was like super acidic and not enough alkaline was there to support the baby. So yeah, it was really hard. Not to mention sort of emotionally drained. I remember looking and realizing, oh, I need to buy toilet paper and actually wanting to cry because the thought of going to the grocery store felt so unbelievably draining that, yeah, anything really could have pushed me over the edge, I'm not gonna lie. It was a very painful experience. It was not something I ever want any entrepreneur to ever have to endure. And so the first and most important, I think, vow of any entrepreneur's life is that they choose to do this business and to put their work out into the world in such a way that it will never be at the expense of themselves. I think oftentimes we go into a business, we go into doing our work in the world because what we want is to be, you know, like of service. We want to live that life of fulfillment. Maybe we want a lifestyle of freedom, or we want to put our family first, or whatever things that made us decide to go into business that the corporate world didn't provide, you know, in that environment. We are sort of saying, okay, I'm going to create my own environment. I'm going to go be an entrepreneur. Let's do this. And in doing so, you don't want to go like, yay, I'm going to have this amazing life. And then be like, oh my gosh, how do I get my life back? I'm so drowning in my to-do list. And so the first thing, like I said, is that you'd really vow to do this business and do your work in the world and get your badass entrepreneur on, never at the expense of yourself. Second thing I want to mention in response to this question is that I think not only is this a business problem, but this is also sort of a Western culture problem. We are oftentimes in our heads all the time, just thinking, and doing, and outputting, and going to events and being there for people and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And what that ends up happening, or what ends up happening is that we have a very, like if we were to have an emotional and spiritual bank account, we're like withdrawn. We are freaking overdrafting left and right. We're in the red, and it's just we are not filling up our cup. And so if this were to be a visual, it would be like the tip of the iceberg is this mental place that we often play in, and then there's this sort of water line that covers the rest, and underneath that is this huge glacier, this huge body that we're not tapping into. And so what I'd like to invite you into is to drop into your body a little bit. Some may be super, you know, into this idea, and some may think this is just a weird suggestion. Whatever it is for you, I'm still doing it, okay? So, yeah, I'd like to invite you to drop into your body a little bit because there's a lot of intelligence there to communicate to you what is right for you, what is true for you, what is actually the correct path, as opposed to like following supposed to's or following rules or following, oh, so-and-so is doing this, or so-and-so is doing this, their business this way, so I should be doing that too, or they have this success, I should be doing that too. The truth is, you have your own path, and you can be guided very clearly, with clarity, with simplicity, with peace, if you tune in to your own body intelligence and your own self. When we're a fetus, our heart forms first, and it has its own little genius in there, and then it stems up into our brain, and it forms, and our brain forms after that. So oftentimes we're backwards in this Western culture where we go brain first, left brain first, and we're all about it, when really the right brain or the heart or the body or creativity is where a lot of our genius lies. And so I just invite you to play there a little bit more. This can be very simple. It can be like, I'm gonna do yoga, I'm gonna get outside, I'm gonna be in the moment, I'm gonna meditate. Or it could be, I'm going to drop into my senses. What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? What do I touch? And just really detaching from everything happening outside and all the noise and really tuning in. And what will happen is you start to source your energy from within, and you'll feel this outpouring and this overflow of ability to deal with life in an abundant manner as opposed to being on burnout all the time. And the third piece of this is that you really actually just need to prioritize. And so after you've tuned in and you've really made sure that this business is not going to happen at the expense of yourself, you prioritize your to-do list. If you have a massive freaking to-do list, you make sure that you pull the 3 most important things off that list. You put them on a little bitty post-it note, and you do not overwhelm yourself for the day, because overwhelm sucks. And none of us went into being into business or being an entrepreneur so that we could be in an overwhelmed state of mind at all times. Because that stinks. So definitely pick 3 things off that to-do list to do. And a little guidance for that is, what are the top 3 things that are going to lead my business to create the type of revenue that I need to create to have longevity and continue this work in the world. So with that, I hope this little Ask a Heroine Q&A delicious moment here has supported you in some way or form. I'm Shereen Thor, founder of AwakenTheRebel.com. Pop over and visit me, or visit me on the next Ask a Heroine, and I will see you then. All right, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.